Hello. So, for the sound assignment, I did Psycho, Alfred Hitchcock. You got my notes. So, a lot of cool sounds in this movie, and it started off in the beginning when they had the credits and they had the really dramatic music, and it made the title Psycho, so you have to feel it's something coming, and the music just really helped it out. It was really dramatic. It was like, oh well, this is gonna be a wild film. And then, the first thing I got was in the very beginning when she was looking at the money before she left. She would look around, look back at the money, look around, and the music behind it, was slowly building up. Every time she looked at the money, it'd get a little bit louder, a little bit faster, and it kind of built the suspense of, oh, is she gonna grab it? Is she doesn't, and then eventually she does and gets out of there. But that music definitely in the background really helped it out, give that dramatic feel of what is she gonna do. And then there's another piece when she was driving. She could hear in the background. You hear voices as she's driving because it's supposed to be the thoughts in her mind, and I thought that was pretty cool. And then when she stops on the crosswalk and the boss crosses, there's that big music, and it shows how anxious she is and how nervous because that's her boss and she has all this money in her purse. And then let's see, yeah, so she's when the cop pulls her over in the beginning, and she's really anxious, all the music shuts off, right? There's no sound, there's that silence, and it puts you on your edge because it puts you on the edge of your seat because she's asking the cop what's wrong. The cop's like, are you okay? She's like, I'm fine, yeah. And then he asks her to get out her license, and she's looking at her license and all that. Everything's quiet, so it brings a lot of suspense. And then right when she drives away and the cop follows her, this big music buildup because it's really suspenseful, and you're like, oh, what's going on, why is she following, and all that goes on. So there's a lot of moments where the scene would go quiet, and then a big music, and the music would be quick, and the orchestra was going real fast and loud, and then there was time to be quiet. And then when she was when she was talking to the car dealership guy, right? And she kept looking she would talk, let's say you're the car dealership, she would talk and then look over to the cop. Every time she looked over to the cop, I noticed a sound it started off here, right? She's talking to the dealership, but every time you turned, it kind of sounded like it was coming out the side because she's more focused on the cop over on the other side of the road. So the way they did that was really impressive, where they made it sound like it was in the back of her head, and then every time she turned back to the dealership guy, it was straightforward, it was louder, And then, of course, the most iconic scene in the shower when she's taking the shower, and once again all the sound goes out but the shower running. So it's really normally there's an orchestra in the background or other noises, but it's just a shower, so that automatically brings up a little bit of tension. And then of course when they open up the shower curtain with the knife and the big music, the kind of the jump scare-ish kind of music, back in the day if I was watching that, boy, I would jump out of my seat. It was loud, it was there, it was really suspenseful, and she's killing, and she starts dying, and then when she dies, it's that really cool scene where it's just the water running, and you can just hear going down the drain. There's nothing else, and then it pans around the house, and in the background you hear just the water running, and then you hear the kid scream like, "Oh, there's blood!" and the person comes out the house, but all you can hear still is the water running. And I thought that was a really cool scene. And then finally, the scene where he is sinking the car. Once again, they do it where they cut out all the sound, but the bubbling of the water in the car in the water. So there's a lot of the orchestra and the music was really good. A lot of quieting down the music, then amping it back up and having big music scenes. A lot of this is a suspenseful movie. I mean, it's called Psycho, and they had it would be just one isolated sound. It'd go from everything to then one sound. Like when she died, it was just the water. And then there's a lot of scenes where it's just quiet, and then that iconic sound that people still use today. If sound is still used today, and that movie was made in what, 1960, it's got to be important. So that sound when he opens the shower curtain, or when he stabs the dude and he falls down the stairs, and you hear that sound, that is what sound is good for. It's iconic. It's something you remember, and scary movies like that, they need a loud kind of jump scare-ish thing, and that was perfect. You silence all the other sounds, and you wait, build up suspense, and boom, that loud sound gets it done. So it was a great movie. The sound, everything was good about it, and I really enjoyed watching this movie. I don't really watch old movies all the time, so it was cool to watch, see how they did it back in the day. Thank y'all.